Hey, we are live here again, Georgia State, and we're going to be talking about the NFL, but more specifically, Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. This is a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, particularly now this year as we've gone through the first two games. It's just looking like the Bears are looking horrendous. So we'll get to that and we'll get to some more things here on the show. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite podcast. That's where we are here at Jay's Fifth Down. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, check us out, and check out my book that I just published called The Soldier. This is my second book that I wrote. So yeah, I'm an author and a podcaster. It's the second book I wrote. It's called The Soldier. It's available for purchase on Amazon. So you can I'll put a description there put a link rather in the description so you can go purchase it, guys. I would appreciate the support. It's a very interesting read, if I must say so myself. Maybe a little bit of bias there, maybe not. But please go check it out. We would very much appreciate it here on Jay's Fit Down. Now to the nitty gritty of the podcast today. Again, the main thing I wanted to talk about was Justin Fields, right? So the Chicago Bears are 0-2. They lost to the Packers week 1. They lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 2. And one of the main things that I noticed when watching, when I watched the Bears is, offensively, They traded for DJ Moore, right? They trade the first pick to Carolina to get DJ Moore here, right? And then your other receivers are Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney. Not very good. And I really think the Chicago Bears have done a very bad job of surrounding Fields with weapons overall. I mean, outside of Moore, yeah, but I mean, look at your other. Darnell Mooney's solid, but he's okay, but still not, enough for what they're expecting him to do. They're expecting him to be. If they're expecting him to be this drop back passing guy that's gonna, rock the world and everything, and just, carve up teams, carve up defenses, that's not who he is. That's not Justin Fields. That's not who he is. He is a runner. He can run the ball. He is a capable passer. We saw that at Ohio State in college. College and the NFL are two different worlds, but still, he's a very capable passer. So what I'm trying to figure out is why they're not putting him in the best position to succeed. And just looking at it, I mean, they got him sitting back there, just dropping back. That's not Justin Fields. That's not who he is. The Chicago Bears are failing Justin Fields right now. And I think, for some reason, it's like they're doing it almost on purpose because they want to justify, hey, you know what? He's not, maybe not on purpose, but they're not setting him up to succeed. And it's very annoying because he's such a talented player, and you take him as your number one pick that year, right? And he has not panned out for you so far. And I don't blame that fully on Justin Fields. Yes, he needs to improve in certain quarterbacks categories, statistics wise, and things, tangents that he needs to improve upon. And he's doing that. He's progressing. You saw that from his first year in 2021 to his second year last year. Now in his third year, he's got some help at the receiver position. Still not that much. You let David Montgomery go to the Lions in free agency. So you don't really have that running back there. Khalil Herbert's nice, but again, you need a good running back and you need good receivers to win in this league. You got to have a running back that is going to go get you those tough yards. I know it's hard right now with everything going on with the running backs and all those things and the whole situations. They're not getting paid what they should be, or they're expendable. They're not valuable anymore to teams, right? That's that notion. I understand that, but at the same time, what about the fact that you still haven't given him any outside help? I mean, look at the Chiefs. I mean, now their receiver group was not perfect by any means last year, but they had guys who got done. Juju Smith-Schuster was one of them. He would have been a solid pickup for the Bears. Actually, the Steelers receiver they should have gone after, but now they chose Chase Claypool, right? They chose Chase Claypool, who was solid his rookie year and hasn't done much since. I mean, heck, the dude wasn't even he barely blocked. It was the game against the Packers. He was horrendous blocking downfield. Receivers have got to be able to block downfield. That's number one thing when recruiters and coaches are scouting for when they're looking for receivers. So all you young receivers out there who play football, you need to know that you want to be able to catch the ball. These coaches want you to obviously be able to catch the ball. You gotta have good speed. You gotta have good hands. You gotta be able to run your routes. But can you block? Will you be willing to go and block downfield on run plays? Because those, especially those outside runs, those jet sweeps, those blocks by the receivers are critical. Whether it's on the left or the right side, your one receiver, your two receivers, where they're on the line off, they are critical in blocking on those plays. You have to have receivers that are willing to go downfield and block, because that is what's going to spring open those running plays. And if you don't, then they won't work. And so Chase Claypool, he was good his rookie year, and then the last couple of years he's kind of declined. And now how much you want to attribute that to the Steelers quarterback situation, and then the offensive play calling, you do if you will. But he goes to the Bears, it's not that much better. So and you actually have somewhat more of a capable quarterback, a quarterback that can run. So he poses a threat to the defenses that he plays, because he can run. They have to respect his running ability. So that's, in theory, as a receiver, should leave you open downfield, or at least on some plays should have you to be able to get open downfield to make those catches, make those plays, right? That's the big thing about it that I'm looking for. Out of the Bears, out of Chase Claypool specifically, right? I just don't. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, this does not make any sense at all. But it's almost like he just, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I really just want to see the Bears actually set up Justin Fields to succeed. They have not been able to do that right now. And he blamed it on the coaching, even in his press game conference. He was like, I play robotic, but I attribute that to the coaching. He basically said it probably was the coaching, and that was his words. Maybe not exactly, but don't quote me on that. But if you look it up, it's probably video on it, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. He said that the coaching was the cause of that. So now you got that tension building in Chicago, which is the last thing they need, because this is a team that they thought they could take some steps forward. They traded the number 1 overall pick to get DJ Moore. The defense has improved. They got some guys there, so they're trying to make steps to improve in this division, right? Because Aaron Rodgers is gone. So the Packers aren't the big mama in the division anymore. The Packers are gone. The Lions are solid. They're good. I mean, they play very well, play organized, good football. And so that's like the Vikings, of course, are going to do what they do. So that could go either way. Take with that what you will. But to me, that basically says it all. That basically says it all. I mean, what are you going to do? The Bears are running out of time here. They're rebuilding, but at the same time, Justin Fields, his contract is getting shorter year by year. He's on his rookie deal. So, the question is, do you extend him when it's time if you're Chicago? Will they do that? I'm not sure if they will. Could they be setting him up to not succeed so they won't have to pay him what he's due? That way, or he's not even, maybe they're doing that because, to make it to where he's not even worth that much. So they could still, pull him in for cheap. But at the same time, you have other teams out there who would more than happy be willing to sign him, grab him in free agency or through trade or whatever the case might be, if the Bears are not willing to pay him the contract that he deserves, right? That's what I'm thinking about. So, like I said, I don't like the handling of the offense that they're doing right now with Justin, but whatever it'll be. So we'll see what happens there with the Bears. We will see what happens there with the Bears, guys. I mean, I just, like I said, I just don't understand what the plan is at this point. I don't get it, but we'll see. Moving on that, don't know. Yeah, like I said, it's like I said, it's still early, it's still early on in the season. You got the Cowboys who, they're 2-0, they're undefeated. A lot of people are talking about can Dallas finally get it right with Mike McCarthy calling the plays now offensively? Can the offense be on the same level as the defense? I'm not sure. As long as Dak Prescott is a quarterback, I say no. I just don't. I said this many times on this podcast, and I'm going to keep saying it. Dak Prescott is not a starting quarterback. Dak Prescott is not a starting quarterback for the Cowboys. He just isn't the guy that's going to get you to a Super Bowl. Win you playoff game. He's not that guy. And so until they realize that, then they're going to keep losing. They're going to keep losing. Defense is amazing. Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs. I mean, all these guys on defense, like they've got a great defense, but it's like the offense just cannot catch up. The offense, I mean, it's not consistent. It's consistent in the regular season, but then when they get to the postseason, they just freeze. They can't convert. They can't produce when they need to produce. Dak Prescott cannot step up when he needs to step up, right? So now this is the year for Dallas. This is like the year, like if they don't get it right, if they don't win a playoff game, then I don't know what to say for the Cowboys and Cowboys fans. I don't know what to say. We'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to watch as the season progresses. And, don't overreact, guys. I mean, it's just we're just going into week 3. So, the time for overreactions is not now. I mean, we don't need to start putting these stamps on these teams like, oh, they suck or they're not going to make the playoffs. They're 0-2 or they're 1-1. Like, yeah, it's still early, because the Bengals, like I said in the last episode, went 0-2 last year, and they ended up in the AFC Championship game. So you can't tell everything from a team through the first 2 weeks of the season. That's just not realistic from any level on football or college, high school, or the NFL or any sport. You cannot tell how good a team is going to actually be through just their first 2 games. You can't do that. College might be a little bit different, but for the most part, it's the same thing. In the NFL, you just don't. You can't do it. You can't do that. Teams have got to get adjusted. They got to get back right. They got to. Some of them are just playing because a lot of teams, didn't play their starters in the preseason. So some of these guys are just getting out on the field, getting acclimated to everything. So that's gonna take a little bit of time. But I think by week 6 or week 7, everybody should be back to normal, back to the way, the offenses should be really clicking on a consistent basis, right? Won't have a lot of turnovers and stuff like the Vikings right now. I don't think they're going to be turning football over like they're doing right now, like by week 6, week 7. I don't think they're going to do that. Now, they shouldn't. If they want to go anywhere, they got to stop doing that. They got to stop turning the ball over, and they're going to have their defense is going to have to be at least league average. That's really all they need. You got a good offense. You got a solid quarterback in Kirk Cousins. You got Justin Jefferson, who's a beast. You got Jordan Addison, who's emerging as a rookie wide receiver. Your running game is solid enough. Defense has just got to catch up and be a little bit better for the Vikings case. But, I mean, like I said, middle of the season, week 6, week 7, everything should be back to back to normal. Teams should be firing on all cylinders. The teams that have the talent to, at least. So, and again, Nick Chubb is injured for the Browns, unfortunately. But they just signed Kareem Hunt today, so he's back there in Cleveland, sharing touches with Jerome Ford. So yeah, the Browns. Hey, you needed all the help you can get, and you bring back a guy who knows the system, played there for what. A couple years, 4 years, right, or something like that, 3 or 4 years. So that's a good move for them. But I think some of these, I know a lot of Browns fans are like, hey, you know what? Maybe we should have kept Baker Mayfield. Instead of getting Deshaun Watson. I mean, if it's Houston Deshaun Watson, maybe that's the case because he had he was a beast in Houston, especially 2020. One of the top QBs in the league. But since then, he's just how much you want to blame that on him not playing for 2 years or whatever the case may be, extracurricular situations, whatever the case may be. The fact of the matter is he is not performing like the NFL quarterback. So, the Browns are going to have to figure that out too. But we'll see what happens, guys. I mean, like I said, I'm interested to see. These next couple of weeks will be pretty fun in the league. College football also. So keep an eye on that. Like I said, this weekend, big games, Colorado, Oregon, FSU and Clemson. I think they're going to beat Clemson. They should. So that's very interesting there. So make sure you guys are staying tuned here to the podcast, and we're going to update you with everything we need to know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and check out my book, The Soldier, available for purchase now on Amazon. I don't have a physical copy with me yet; it's coming. But for right now, just check out. I put the link in the description for you guys to go and check it out. Well, very much appreciate the support. I never thought I would be, have a like for being an author, but hey, here it is, right? So you always find new things about yourself each and every day. So that's the thing, you learn something new every day, whether it's about anything or yourself. So leave that little nugget of wisdom for you guys. But thank you for tuning into the show. We will catch you next time on Jay's Fifth Down.